Hi, this is Neeraj Jaiswal and welcome to this episode. In this episode, I am going to show you how to populate basically the buttons dynamically, and these will be populated as the feed items. So basically I'll be showing you the logic to read the feed URL, read from the feed URL, read the data, and then populate these buttons dynamically. So let's get started. I'll just open up the home screen CS. So the first thing which I need to do is read the feed. So I'll just copy this whatever I did here. Basically I'll just copy it here. This was the basically the test that we did to read the feed. I'm just going to paste it here because most of the work here has been done reading the feed. The next thing, I'll just name this as load feed, and here basically we are basically reading the feed and then iterating over it. So the next thing is when we are iterating, that time we need to add the buttons as well. So for that we need to have the access to the prefab. So we need the reference to the prefab rect transform, this prefab is basically of the buttons which we are using to populate the scroll view, the list. Now second thing which we need is we will create another function basically add, where I will give the pass all the data which it requires to populate that particular button. So I'll just pass title for now, and then the next thing I'll instantiate the prefab and create a item which I am going to use to populate the list. Now item dot set parent, this dot parent content basically transform. The content basically whatever the item which I am object which I am instantiating here, I will be adding it to the content. This will be our parent. So this content is basically the scroll view content, if you just remember. Just so now transform, yes, I've got the reference to the transform, and basically I'll just it will not be world space, so I'll just leave it like that. Next thing is I'll just try to access the text. So item dot get component. Right now it has got single component, so I can just say component in children. There is only one text, basically text, and then I will just set the text of that to title. Yes, now let me call this from here. I will just pass this item title to it. Let us set this and try to run it. Before doing that, make sure that the prefab has been set in the game object. See here. So here to set the prefab, I'll just drag it and set it here. Save it and let us run it. So it will read from the NASA RSS rather NASA RSS URL, and it should populate it here. So it was not called. Let me see. Load feed. Okay, we have not called it from the start. So let me call it from here. Now it should. I'll just close it and then again play it. It should now populate with the data from the NASA's RSS feed. So it took some time to retrieve the data. Here it is populating. Now as you can see, it is basically bigger than the buttons which we have specified. So what we can do is we can increase the area slightly. So let me go ahead and change the I'll just change the buttons area. So I'll just increase the size, and one more thing I can do actually. So before doing that, let me increase the size of the back panel, and also what I'll need to do is I'll decrease the size of the text box so that it doesn't overflows, and I will make it best fit. This way it will never overflow. So let me run it and I'll apply it. So all the buttons will become like that, and also I don't need this as I'm done with testing. So I'm just going to delete all these duplicates. I'll just save it and run it now. So still it is overflowing. I need to check there why it is overflowing. So when you go there, vertical overflow, it should be truncating, and this is panel, this is text. So this has to be decreased. That's why it was overflowing. Now if I just set it here and apply it to the prefab, it should, let me run it again. I think after that it should work with the prefab. Yes, now it is not overflowing, so it is fitting within that. What I can do is, like, I can see that it is basically there's a space is very less, so it is readable, but still, like, if you want, you can increase the size. We'll take care in the while for doing the final touches. So basically that's all in this episode. I'll see you in the next episode. Keep rocking and happy coding.